What up, nerds? Welcome to the brand new segment, The More You Know, here with Comics and Pops. And we're going to be talking pancakes today. And you know how we feel about pancakes. We love them. We love flipping them. We love eating them. We love them all. So, quick shout out to our moderators, Uncle Rudy, Something Wong, D Anime. Thank you guys so much. We appreciate you. And now let's head all over to the chat. And I know we had some early birds, my goodness. And one of the early birds we had was Comic Talks Weekly. What is going on, dude? Thank you for stopping by. And we also had Back Issue Polly. What's going on? Thanks for joining. And hey, I think, oh, wait, we have Moonlit Comics. What's going on, Michelle? Thank you for stopping by. So let's just get it started. So here we go. On today's show of More You Know, we're going to be flipping some pancakes. So here we go. The reason why I started flipping books was obviously, hey, you can make some money. And that is something that I think everybody wants to do. But unfortunately, I didn't know a bunch of stuff, like when to list your books, where to go, how to make your book more attractive. And by attractive, I mean like pricing wise. Should I send the book to CGC? Should I sell it raw? There's just a ton of stuff that I didn't know. And I wish somebody would have helped me out to kind of get things going. So I've kind of written a number of questions out. And then again, this is very interactive, you guys. We're all the big part of this giant community. I know a lot of everybody here. And what's going on, Bricks? Thanks for joining. Like, have sold comics, have sold other things. I mean, we're all flippers, really. I mean, we've all done it. So let's just get started. So when should I list my books? This is a question that, it's kind of hard to say, especially if you want to get them graded. Right now, CGC turnaround times are more than 100 days. And that's even for fast track. So that's insane. And if you decide just to do it, just slow track or regular, that's 144 days. It's nuts. So you have to plan accordingly if you want to grade a book. Like, you have to know, like, when the movie's coming out, when the show's going to be coming out, and what's going on, Steve? Thanks for joining. And I mean, it's just things that you have to think about before you even list a book, because again, you need to decide, like, is it worth your time? And then rumors versus news. The biggest thing that I've noticed, and I'm sure you guys have done as well, is you sell on rumors, because a lot of the rumors are crazy, but people love them. They love seeing all of that news. They're like, oh my God, this person is rumored to be attached to this movie, might be cast as a star. I mean, it's crazy. But the bigger the star, I mean, those book prices definitely increase. Oh, and we see what's going on. Tim Stacy, thanks for joining. So again, it's where I would go. Definitely is selling based on rumors. I mean, news are more solidified, but once you get that news, you kind of know already what you're getting. For example, if let's say the rumors were before that, Leonardo DiCaprio was going to be cast as Iron Man back in the day. Tom Cruise was going to be cast at the back, back in the day. And those are big stars, right? So those rumors would definitely increase the price of the book. And when news came out that Robert Downey Jr. Was cast as Iron Man, people were like, really? RDJ? I mean, he's not as big at the time, right? He wasn't as big as Cruise. He wasn't as big as DiCaprio. So books like that would drop in price until, again, the trailers and the movie comes out. So that's another way. What's going on, TM Nerdy? What's going on, Travis? Thanks for joining. And again, that's where I would, again, sell your books. One, I would list them when rumors are being heard. Definitely also when trailers are coming out. And then if you decide to get books graded, definitely need to keep in mind those turnaround times. So you have to plan accordingly, which means you have to know in advance, which we kind of know already based on Marvel's schedule, on when to list your books or when you can get these things back. Now, what you should be selling. Now, this one is super easy. You should be selling keys if you want to flip. Make sure to look for keys like in the back bins, or even if at your LCS, that's something you want to do. One of the other things you need to do too is covers. People love covers. They love homages. I would definitely, flip those guys. Also with spec, and we'll talk spec on a different show, but it will be under the More You Know banner, where we're going to try to make savvy collectors out of the community. So we will definitely let you guys know how to speculate, what to look for, so that way you can be a savvy collector. And then another thing too, direct versus newsstand. Right now, people love the barcode, so they want to buy into that. They love that newsstand. So those are easy to sell, really easy to sell. Direct editions, people got them at the comic book stores, and that's personally where I got my comic books. So directs are easy to find, dime a dozen, but that's only for newer books. Like in the late 90s, early 2000s, newsstands, they weren't very prevalent. Back in the days, though, like in the 50s and 60s and early 80s, around there, direct editions, that's where you got your books. You got your books at the 7-Eleven, the newsstand, your five and dime. There weren't very many LCSs. So, when those older books, going direct would probably be a little bit better for you. Now, one of the places that I personally check is 130 points. So I'm going to put this link up in the chat for you guys to take a look. This is where you can actually see prices of sales on eBay, which is fantastic. So if you guys don't know, well, now you know. So 130 point is where I go to check for prices. And whoops, sorry about that. This would pop for you, and in the search, you can type in whatever you want. So we're going to look at a book that we're going to be talking about later, is Savage She-Hulk, #1. And again, all you got to do is just type it in the search and then hit the submit button, and everything will pop there, even or best offers, which is great for somebody that's wanting to sell and also wanting to buy. So it looks like it's gonna be taking a little bit, but this is where I would go to look for all that fun stuff. And might be having some technical difficulties here. Is there too many Savage She-Hulks out there? All right, let's refine this a little bit. And it's funny too, because it was just working. I had Geek Driven on the chat, or on the back room, and we were talking about a comic book that he's looking for, and I wish him luck. I hope he gets it. But for whatever reason, it is not working. So hopefully you guys can pull it up yourself and actually see what is going on. Let's try something else. Yep. Oh, it worked for you? All right, great. Comics are great. Thank you for letting me know. I appreciate it. Again, definitely use this site just to look for prices of books. Again, the best thing about this site is the ability to look at what a book sold for that, like buy it now or best offer. Because on eBay, you can do whatever you need to do, which is look at completed sales, but you're never going to get that price. So honestly, this is the link to go, or this place to go to, one, price your book, and also to buy your book. Again, part of that is all negotiation, providing this information and saying, hey, guess what? I know that this sold for this much. You need to be able to come down in price. So definitely, again, check it out. I'm glad you guys did. Comics are great. Thank you so much for letting me know that it is working. So it's definitely a me problem. So I appreciate that. So back to pricing. So again, use that and price your books competitively. You don't want to be stuck. And I know Ian's like saying this. You don't want to be stuck holding the bags. You don't want to be stuck with these books that you just bought in order to flip. So don't do it. Make sure to be fast about it because things change. Now, when you list your items, do you want to go auction or buy it now? And that depends on a lot of factors. One, do you need the money? If you need the money, then you're doing auction because it's the fastest way to get that return. Buy it now with best offer. Sometimes your book will sit, but if you have great foresight, then you know that that book is valued accordingly. And again, using that 130-point sales site, you can get a good idea of how much your book is worth. But I will always list my items with a buy it now or best offer because I want people to negotiate with me because you get more eyes on it and people are willing to send you offers. And that's exactly what you want. And then fees. As you guys know, there's fees for everything. And what's up, Jeff? Thanks for joining. And, we did talk a little bit about you. And again, I wish you nothing but luck. Just letting people know that as an example, that 130 site was working and we were looking at a book for you that, you're trying to get. I didn't say which one. We want to keep it a surprise because I really hope you're able to get it. But with the fees, again, you're going to pay fees no matter where you go. Because there's going to be fees for using a certain site or an application. And also, too, there's going to be fees for using PayPal, which a lot of us use. Because I'm not going to trust a stranger and say, oh, here's my Zelle account. Why don't I'll send you a request or I'll send you cash. Yeah, you don't want to do that. So, again, that's what I would use. Be cognizant about those listing fees because they make huge dents on what you're trying to purchase. Or what you're trying to flip. What's up, E-Man? Thanks for joining. And then where can I list my books? So everybody knows the most eyes are going to be on eBay. eBay will have so many people from all over the world that use that particular application. So I would, if you're trying to sell like a grail or a key, I would use eBay. I mean, eBay is the best place to go because you're going to get multiple offers. You're going to get multiple views. So I definitely use that to your advantage. There's Mercari, and then Instagram, Facebook offer up Craigslist. And one that you probably haven't heard of is called myslabs.com. MySlabs, I've used them before. And the fees are very minimal. You're looking at probably about 2.5%. I mean, that is like nothing. And with PayPal fees, you're looking at less than 5% of your actual profit. So that's actually really good. But again, using Instagram, Facebook is the best way to go. Because again, there are no fees and there's no taxes. You can wheel and deal as much as you want to on those apps. So again, take advantage of it. Get on there to list your books. You can join multiple Facebook groups. Just list the stuff. What's going on Kenny Swag? Thanks for joining. Oh, Sheena's in the house. HK Wifey, thanks for stopping by. And again, Facebook, Instagram are probably the ways to go. But hey, you guys probably know this already because I see a lot of you, and I know a lot of you use Instagram to buy books and also to flip. So again, this is probably the best way to go. One of the piece of advice I would give you, because a lot of times people are hesitant about buying stuff on Instagram or on Facebook, is if you already have an eBay account, change that name, change it to your Instagram handle. Use the picture that you have on your Instagram handle and use the same picture on eBay. It makes things a lot easier for you. So that way, when you want to direct traffic and tell people, hey, guess what? You know what? I'm a trusted seller. You can go on eBay. This is my handle. and you can check me out. You can see all my feedback. You can see the books that I have. You can see everything. If you want a wheel and deal, we can do it on Instagram. I mean, that's the best way to do it. And you're linking these two things. And again, this is something that I just learned recently to kind of help sales. So I, again, would highly recommend doing a lot of this stuff just to set up your own kind of like, not flipper site, but it gives you the best ability to make a profit. So kind of moving on, and hopefully I didn't see too many questions on the chat. So you guys are fairly savvy, which I am very happy to hear. So let's just get into it then. So as you can see, this is a book that the Team Nerd Herd has talked about for like a few weeks, and it is that Thor #6 second print. And this is all information that we got from Cover Price that, guess what, we got 2 weeks ago. I mean, I didn't get the latest info, but this was 2 weeks ago. And you're looking at an average raw sale of $7.50 with a CGC 9.8 high sale of $120. All right, looks like we got E-Man here. So E-Man, what your question is, what's the best way for new eBayer to gain trust with buyers? So this one has to do with the kind of books that you're selling. You want to make sure that you're selling kind of a hodgepodge of stuff, meaning you have a lot of keys or grails or high price books with a mixture of some things that are kind of low. So things that you can get rid of right away, because you get those books out the door, your feedback will increase, and your sales would also be more than just 50, 60 or stuff like that. I also do that as well. I make sure to use smaller books just to kind of help the sales numbers or the feedback numbers that I have. So that way, when people look at my seller account or my feedback account, they can see, oh, he has, 1,000 and somebody else only has 850. They're selling the same book at about the same price. I'm going with that trusted seller. So I would definitely sell books that are a little bit on the cheaper side, $5, $10, stuff like that, in order to help your eBayer status. All right. And again, thanks for that question. Is this site JustView eBay? Is this site just, so comics are great. Is this site just to view eBay sales? Yes. The 1.130, that is only for eBay sales. It won't show you anything that has sold outside of eBay. If you're looking for like heritage and stuff like that, I would look at Go Collect. And I will actually show that. You know what? Since you brought that question up, I will show that right now. So here is Go Collect. And we're going to be looking at some heritage auctions. And 9.8. Right here, you can see that this particular book, Comic Connect, eBay Heritage, Go Collect will give you those prices for those books. So again, you can be a little bit more competitive, or if you're looking to buy, you know where you stand. So again, just try to use as much stuff out there as possible, because again, it's just going to make you a savvy buyer and also a savvy flipper. Let me see. All right. Oh, you're very welcome, E-Man. I hope that helped out. Let's see. I've got premium pricing on. That is awesome, Comic Talk Weekly. That is great. And again, it probably has to do with your feedback that you've gotten, how you pack your books, stuff like that. I mean, that's fantastic. I am very jealous of you. I am very jealous of you. So that's awesome. I'm happy to hear it. All right, going back to is this book worth your time? So I've kind of looked at this book thinking, well, let's just check it out. So here we go with selling it raw. So cover price for this book, and it's on the book itself, right, is $3.99. That's without tax. So you're paying $4 for this book. And again, average sale based on cover prices numbers, $7.50. Now, are you shipping this in a Gemini comic book mailer? And I hope you are, because we are all comic book collectors. We know we don't want anything in that media mail, like a manila envelope or some bubble wrap and just sent. So you're looking at first class mail being $5.50. We know eBay fees are 12.35%. So you're looking at just grossing $5.89, and with everything, you're just gonna net $1.90. Now, is it worth your time? And honestly, it isn't. $2? I mean, that's way less than minimum wage. I mean, seriously, I wouldn't list a book if I were gonna get $2 for it. And thank you, Michelle. I appreciate that. Yes, thank you, Robert. eBay is a ripoff at the 12.35%. It's insane. So again, like, your time is worth more than $1.90. So as far as this book's concerned, selling it raw, yeah, you know what? I wouldn't do it. Now, let's talk about CGC. Now, again, we're using the same information from Cover Price that we already had. So book costs you $5. We know that grading fees are for moderns $22, fast track $15, shipping and handling $7.50. Now this is just to get your book from your house over to CGC, and in return, CGC will grade your book. Will also charge you $32 just to ship it back to you. So you're in this book already for $80. So I mean, already, and this is any modern. $80 is probably the standard that you should use as a benchmark for buying and for flipping. Now, for me personally, I will buy a lot of books that I see have potential for $40. I mean, if I can get a $40 book or $40 for a book, I mean, that's graded 9.8. Oh my God, I'm in heaven. Now, back to this particular item. We don't even know if the book that you got back is graded 9.8. So let's just put that out there. Because again, we're always hoping that we're getting 9.8s. And again, after everything's all said and done with eBay fees, you're shipping your book. And I really hope you're shipping your book priority mail in one of those USPS medium flat rate boxes, because they hold your books all nice and snug. And who doesn't like a nice giant hug, during the day? You're going to net $22.78. And again, this is if your book came back in a 9.8. Now, what do you guys think? I mean, would you guys sell this book for $20 in profit? I mean, it makes it a little bit harder, makes it more of a discussion. It's like $20 worth your time. Comics are great. I see that you have another question. Can you explain that $80 benchmark? Sure. So here we are at Cover Price. I mean, you're looking at $4 for the cover, right? $22 for the CGC fees. And you know what? We're going to use 15 because I always want my books back right away because I want to flip them faster. I want to be first to market. And that's another thing too that we need to talk about, is being able to put your books or list them before anybody else's. And we've talked about this actually on the show at the bottom half, which is going to be airing today at 7 p.m., where Stray Dogs was on the list. And we kept talking about how CGC is doing a private signing with Trish and Tony. And the timeline is 6 weeks. And we talked about wanting to if we wanted to flip them, right? That 6 week turnaround time would make sure that we are first to market. So that $80 book mark is all the money that you've already put into the book. So it's a sunk cost. Again, $7.50 to send the book over there, $32 for the shipping back. I mean, all of that equates to $80.49. So that's where that benchmark is. And again, I'm a little bit more generous as far as with the math, because I want to fast track it. And again, with the shipping and handling, I want to get it to CGC a lot faster. So I'm not going to use first class mail. I'm going to use priority shipping. So that's where I would get that, or that's why I got that. But I hope that helps you. But again, oh, good. I'm glad you're always using Fast Track. Comics are great. Because I do the same thing. It's like I want my books I want them now. And again, it has to do with flipping or having to know that, hey, I got my 9.8, or if I got a 9.6, that means I need to go buy another book. So at least you know right away. So again, $20, is it worth it? That's up to you to decide. Personally, for all that work, for all the waiting, $22 for me is not worth it. But I know for some it is. And if I had this book, again, 5 weeks ago, a month ago, like already graded CGC 9.8, I would definitely sell it. One of the things too that you have to be cognizant of is the hype of this book, right? This hype is right now. It's by the time you get your book back, this book might not be a $120 book. It might be less. So you have to keep that in mind all the time if you're chasing things. You need to be a little bit ahead of the game for some of these. And I know that this Thor book, everybody bought them. Everybody bought them because of all Donny Cates and the spec on this cover. But not a lot of us, at least not for me, and probably not our inner circle of nerds, went out and got these CGC graded. Because again, Donny Cates, it's really hard to kind of figure out what he tends to do. And again, the news for this was just a tweet. So it's, again, really hard to say if this book will maintain its current pricing. I mean, if it does, great. But again, you have to keep that in mind when trying to flip a book. And Comics Talk Weekly, yes. It's a $22 straight grading fee for CGC. And comics are great. That's awesome. That you use for pricing. That is great. We use cover price. We love it. And again, if I can find a book that's under like $40 or at $50 and it's a book that I want, I immediately don't even haggle. I'm buying it because I know what that person has invested in that book and they're taking a loss, and I'm okay to take their money. But when you're selling, that's a different story. When you're flipping stuff, you need to make sure that you're listing things accordingly. Make sure that you write down or take note of how much you've got invested in the book. All right. Otherwise, yeah, you're going to be losing money. All right. So what about this one here? This one, again, was cover price. It was a hot book. It was in the bottom half, and it's Superman #4, the first appearance of Bloodsport. And again, 2 weeks ago, this book was average raw sale of $30 and a CGC high sale of $219. So I can tell you right away that this like, I would make money. I will flip this sucker. I will flip it raw and I will flip it graded. Now, would I have graded this book? Honestly, I would not have. And again, JR has mentioned it on the show. He's appearing in the Suicide Squad. And yes, I know that Idris Elba is a great actor, but it's Suicide Squad, and we have no idea or any indication that these cast members are going to continue on to another movie besides John Cena, who will be getting an HBO Max series. And even then, we don't know that John Cena series is a prequel, perhaps, or a sequel to the movie. We just don't know. So definitely keep that in mind again when you're looking at things. But I would definitely sell it raw. I mean, you purchased this book or found it in a dollar bin. I mean, if you paid more than $1 for this book, hunting for it, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. But if I could sell it for $30 in a heartbeat. And again, I have no loyalty at all to this character. And that's another thing too. When you talk about like first appearances and characters, we all have our favorites. I mean, I have mine. I love Harley Quinn. I love Spider-Gwen. I love Captain Marvel, Black Widow. I love them. And it would be hard for me to sell their first appearances or sell their books. But it would be easy for me to sell Bloodsport or to sell Nightcrawler or something like that. I mean, it's it's just a lot easier to make that jump, or to be able to say, you know what, he's not on my list, or she's not on my list. I am okay getting rid of it for, X amount of money. And that's another thing too. When you list your books, you need to make sure. Yes, I do, Robert. You need to make sure that you need to price them accordingly. Always keep tabs on them. I know a lot of times in our auctions and things that we do on eBay, especially with buy it nows or best offers, is we don't keep track of them, and we should, because in the spec game, or in the world that we live in today, books become hot like in a flash. So if you want to maximize your profit, you need to be able to get a feel of the market, know what's happening. So when you list your books, change it. Change the pricing, increase it, and always keep that or best offer, so people will still send you offers. So if worse comes to worse and you needed that cash, you can always accept that offer. And again, always have a price in mind when you're flipping, because it makes things easy for you, and it makes things easy for the buyer. So here we go into She-Hulk. So Savage She-Hulk #1. And we know a lot about this book already. We know the cast. We know who will be playing She-Hulk. We know who's directing. We know that it's going to come out in 2022. So we have all of this information. But we didn't have this information back in 2019. During D23, that's when Marvel made note and say, hey, we're coming out with a She-Hulk movie. So that happened in August of 2019. So as you can see, these books here were priced at $350, $375. So people were buying these books. So you could flip them here for $375, $350 and stuff like that. But guess what? News came out. And because we know that news moves the market, we see here that after that announcement, those books that were a $300 book now became a $500 book. So if you're flipping, this is where you would sell. Like you have the news. I would list my book. Again, I have Savage She-Hulk. I don't have any loyalty to this character, so I am willing to flip it, but I'm willing to wait. And I'll tell you why. There hasn't been any trailers yet to get people excited about the show. We know that it's coming in 2022, but we don't have a date yet. So that's another thing to kind of keep in mind when you're trying to sell these books. If it's something that you can keep for a little bit, I would do it. Or you can list it, but list it for a higher price with, again, or best offer. Because that way sometimes, and I know we have busy lives, we're doing stuff like that sometimes we don't have the time to keep manipulating that price, based on news, based on rumors that we know, because we're part of this great comic book community, that we have all this information, or that we crave this information. So again, I'm just giving you a little bit of perspective into my world on how I flip books. But guess what? We got some additional news. So this is today's date. July 2021, a book sold for $1,100. So again, it is a key. It is a first appearance. But before any news was out, this book was a $300 book. And now it's an $1,100 book. So again, keep that in mind when you're trying to find the next big thing. And one of the other things, and I did say earlier in the show, the more you know, we are going to be coming with some more information, some more knowledge, and we will be doing a spec show on teaching you guys, the comic book community, how to spec. Because again, personally, I believe that a savvy community is a better community. So I want to make sure that we all have equal footing, that we all know what to do, what to invest in, what to flip, and just stuff like that. Because I, again, don't ever want to be caught holding the bag, just like you guys. I mean, we all want to make money here. We all have jobs. And sometimes those jobs just don't pay the bills or pay for all of this lovely stuff that we have in the back. So we kind of do this to get those grails or to pay for our hobby. So again, if you bought this book back in the day, a couple years ago, $300, $500, you can easily flip it for $1,100. If you need the cash, I would definitely sell it. You're making $500. I mean, you're doubling your money right now. If you can wait, I would wait. And again, we don't have a trailer. We don't have something to get people really excited about this particular show. But let's go back to the next slide, and we can see how casting has an impact on price. So here we go. IG question. Comics are great. Here we go. When selling books on Instagram, which tags are the best ones to use? So that depends. It depends on what you're selling, but I will always tag it as CGC graded books, CGC graded books for sale, CGC sale, CGC yellow label, SIG series, new comic book sale, stuff like that is what I would use to get as much attention as possible. Because I know I, for one, save that hashtag or save that tag, like CGC books for sale. And then I use the number 4 and spelt out FOR. So that way I can see what's being offered. So I would definitely do that as well. I mean, if you think about it, it's the things that you look for are probably the tags that you would use for your sales for flipping books, right? I mean, if you're looking for CGC books for sale, then you should probably use that particular tag as well. And again, this is just something to kind of help get more eyes on your book. Oh, what's going on, Marshall? Thanks for joining us. I appreciate you. Thanks for stopping by. But here we go. So let's just talk really quickly about. I know it wasn't any. Oh, no worries. Comics are great. We're here to help. I'm here to help. So I mean, even after this thing ends, if you guys have any questions, hit me up on IG. Just DM me. I am very approachable. And if you have any questions, I mean, seriously, I'm more than happy to help you out. I mean, for me, it's just part of being this big and wonderful community that, I just want to be as helpful as possible, because I know when I need help, like I reach out to a lot of folks and they're always helping me with advice, helping me with knowledge, because that's the kind of people that we are. So I definitely want to, pass that on. So again, if you have any questions, seriously, just let me know. So here we go again. Here are some prices for the book in early August that we saw, right, for $500. And this is when the series was announced in D23 back in 2019. And here in December 20th of 2020, this is where we found out that Tatiana will be playing She-Hulk. And this is great casting. She has such a huge fan base for Orphan Black. And oh my gosh, prices increased. I mean, we're not talking about some obscure actor that we don't know of. I mean, this character we know and love. We've seen her work. We know how she can act and what roles she's played. And she's played every role. I mean, if you've seen the show. So, I mean, my goodness, it's kind of a no-brainer. $700, definitely worth it. If you were flipping this book, again, buying it at $520 and flipping it, about a year later for $200, it's pretty good. It really is, especially for a character like She-Hulk, which again, she's not a top tier character. She's probably mid-level character. But again, Marvel's trying to pump her up by putting her on the Avengers and doing all these things with her. And again, just to build her up, to get more people excited about the show, to get more eyes on this particular character. Oh, what's going on, J2? Thanks for stopping by. So again, news can affect what we're selling. So again, please be cognizant of timing of things. Make sure that when you're getting your CGC books back, that you've timed it correctly, because you don't want to be stuck holding that bag, because prices are going to drop. I guarantee you right now, right here, that once the show is over for She-Hulk season 1, and again, I'm hoping we get more than season 1. After season 1, the books are going to come down. They're going to decline because there's nothing there to kind of prop them up. So if you can time it right, and again, you have till 2022, if you have a She-Hulk, I would, and that it's in great condition, and I would submit it. I would submit your books, hope and pray that you get a 9.6, 9.8, and then flip the crap out of it. Because I know I will. I will be one of those flippers selling this book, probably when the trailer comes out and people are excited about it, or probably waiting for the show to come out after the first episode and people are super excited about what Tatiana brings to that character and what Marvel's doing with it. So again, definitely keep that in mind. And I cannot emphasize enough that we're all nerds and we all have this information. We all know what's going on with Marvel. We all know what's going on with DC. We all know what's happening because we live and breathe comic books. This is something that should be relatively easy to us, but I know sometimes we don't have all that accessible information. So again, $130 for sales on eBay. My Slabs, Facebook, Instagram for selling your books, because again, there's no taxes involved, so it helps you, the seller, and the buyer. And then here's just some extra information where to look for things. Again, 130 point CGC Comics. Keep an eye on those turnaround times because they're increasing. 144 days. It's just insane. Again, My Slabs, eBay, Facebook, OfferUp, Mercari, Instagram, and again, using Cover Price, Go Collect, just having all of that information to make you a savvy buyer and a savvy flipper is what I would use. Exactly. Thanks a lot, Jeff. I like this. If you don't like the character, then bank on the actor. Yes, because I am not a Savage She-Hulk fan at all, period. But I love Tatiana. I think she's a great actress or actor, and she's going to do one hell of a job on that show. So again, just keep your eyes out. I mean, we all love the news. You can hear it here on Team Nerd Herd. You can just see it like on pretty much on any website, and even on IG. I mean, everybody's doing their part. I mean, you have Newbie like showing out his books that he's speculating on. So he should definitely be added to your feed. I mean, Ultra Maximus is doing the same thing. Geek Driven, Deanime, everybody here in this community puts stuff out there regarding books, what to speculate on, what characters to kind of look for, so keep your eyes open, look at the feeds, don't just heart it, read the descriptions and just see what the fuss is about. And again, this is just more information for you so you can be a savvy flipper and a savvy buyer. You got to get those pancakes, man. You got to flip them pancakes. I like your point, Guy. Thank you so much for that. Yes, being open to negotiation is the best thing that you can do as a flipper, and you will get much love from the buyer. I mean, you'll get repeat customers that will come in and say, you know what, hey, I bought something from you. I see you have something that I want. Can we work out a deal? And that is the best way to go. Thank you so much, Guy. I appreciate you, man, for pointing that out. That is awesome. And guess what, guys? We have a couple things that are kind of going on. Just so you know, our man Steve, Mr. Hip Hops and Me, is going to be appearing today at 6 p.m. on Fable's IG show. So make sure you catch that. It's going to be great. I mean, you got Manny, you got Justin, and you got Steve. So you know what? I'm definitely going to tune in. It's on Fable's IG channel. So make sure you head on out there. And then we got, of course, the bottom half tonight with our special guest, Justin, Mr. No Good Comics. So he's going to be on our show, repping the bottom half. So it's going to be, again, a fun show. We love the bottom half. And we have Mr. Dark Raven 50. If you're not following him, you should start. He has a lot of great things that he's done with a 3D printer. He's a big, huge Mighty Morphin fan, and he's an OG SDCC Team Nerd Herd member. I mean, we can't wait to have him on this week's mail call. And I know lots of stuff, right? But that's what we're doing. We're trying to make more content for all y'all to kind of, pick and choose what you guys like. And we got David Boer coming back on Dropping the Mic with Steve, and we're also going to get the lovely ladies of Neary Nerdvana on the show as well as we discuss Killer Queens and Kanto. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be Sunday, 3 p.m. And then again, we're doubling up on Sunday. We have our new picks or top picks for New Comic Book Day for July the 28th, and you don't want to miss it. And then, as always, we have Eric the Phoenix, brother to Steve, Hip Hops and me, doing his thing with anime, and he will be discussing part 2 of Record of Ragnarok. And that's all we have, at least for now. I know Ian alluded to a bunch of news, so we got a bunch of things coming down on the pipe. So just hit those notification buttons and, get ready for some fun, because that's what we do here on Team Nerd Herd. And again, hit me up on IG, DM me if you have any questions or just need some help with something. I am always available. I'm always willing to help you all. And that's it. And again, I do believe a savvy community is a better community. And like we say here at Team Nerd Herd, if you want to do it do it right, but do it like. You know what? Collect what you like.